Welcome to the season premiere of Inside Brush Country Sports, brought to you by South Texas Orthopedics. I'll be your host, Chris Filateo. I'm the sports editor here at the Pleasant Express. This episode, we're going to be focusing on the four Atascosa High School football teams: Charlotte, Pleasanton, Poteet, and Jourdington. First off, we're going to talk about Pleasanton Eagles playing Edison Bears tomorrow night in San Antonio. The Eagles look to repeat last year's season-opening performance against San Antonio Edison with a 45-34 home victory. They compiled 543 total yards with 328 in the air and 215 on the ground, along with 45 carries. They led 28-13 at halftime and definitely look to keep the ball rolling in tonight's matchup against Edison on the road. We're here at Pleasanton High School with head coach Tad Dumont. How are you doing today, Coach?
Doing good, Chris. How are you?
I'm great, thank you. Well, Coach, Jacob Revelo is moving from tailback this season to quarterback. How is he adjusting so far?
I think through the first two scrimmages, he's really adjusted. You know, he played quarterback in 7th and 8th grade and freshman season. He's always been a quarterback by nature. He's just been a very good team player and played his role the last 2 years. But I like what I see so far.
And it's definitely a positive influence as far as your senior quarterback already knowing the playbook from last year and the season before.
No doubt. I mean, you know, he was our backup quarterback last year. He got a little bit of practice during the week last year, but he knows what the backs are supposed to be doing. He knows what the receivers are supposed to be doing. So he's adjusted real well, and he's been a real good leader for us.
Now, you had several high-scoring games last year, Coach.
Yes,
fans expect the same kind of scoring this year, maybe?
Man, I sure hope so. I'm not going to promise any of that, though. You know, our main objective when we start off a ball game on Friday night on offense is to get a first down. And if we can get the first down and get the second first down and get rolling, we'll see what happens.
All right, now how do you feel about starting off on a Thursday night? I know y'all did that last year as well, even though it was on TV.
Yeah, we played a Thursday night game last year. It was our third ball game of the year. So I'll be honest with you, this year I'm a little nervous. You know, because it's one less day of preparation. We're not starting school until Wednesday. So our routine is off. I've never had a week like this where you start school in the middle of the week and on the second day of school you're playing a football game. So it's a little different, but it's exciting also because we're one of 4 or 5 games in the San Antonio or South Texas in week 0, and we're excited about that to be one of the first games that's going to kick off the season this Thursday night.
Good deal. Well, thank you so much for your time again, Coach.
Thank you.
Next, we're going to talk about Jourdington traveling to Falls City tomorrow night on the road. The Indians kick off their 2013 football campaign with a 3-game road trip, beginning with Falls City tomorrow night. Last year, Jourdington lost 22-8 and trailed 16-0 at halftime, but they were able to go ahead and compile 164 total yards with 135 rushing on 45 touches. Jourdington faces Falls City tomorrow night at 7:30. We're here at Jourdington High School with head coach Wayne Johnson. How are you doing today, Coach?
Doing great.
Good deal.
Great.
Now, how are you looking forward to this first game of the season, being on the road against Falls City for the second year in a row?
I'm looking forward to it. It's going to give us an opportunity to see what kind of football team we really have, because they've got a good team, and I'm just hoping we can play well against them and show that we have a good team.
Right. Now, this is the first of 3 road games to start this season. How much of a difficulty will that be for your team to start off the season?
Well, it's never easy to play on the road, but last year we had 3 home games in a row, so it's turnabouts for fair play. So I think we'll be okay. It's just one of those things you have to do the way the schedule fell.
Good deal. Now, after the first 2 scrimmages, you pretty excited to where your team is right now?
I am, and I think we got good experience in both those scrimmages. Some things happened that we need, some things that we need to get straightened out, and we were able to do that because we did have the scrimmages. So I'm happy with the way everything went.
Right. Now, with the wing T formation, if a lot of people don't know, it's a lot of misdirection, a lot of running. Now, how much have you focused on their passing game this year?
Oh, we pass every day. It's not like we're just line up and run the ball every play. I mean, we are basically a running team, but we work on our passing game all the time. It's not like when we did 7-on-7 this summer, and we did very well in the league over in Pleasanton. So we're excited about our passing game.
Now, do you have a goal set as far as how many wins you're going to try to do to start off this season, since you have 3 games on the road before you head into the district schedule?
How many wins? We're going to have 10 of them.
There you go.
That's our goal. And that's got to be your goal. Of course, our first goal is to win the first ball game and then go from there. But you got to have that goal. You got to have high expectations, and we do.
Good deal. Well, thank you so much for your time, Coach.
Thank you.
Coach Wayne. Now we're going to go in and cover Poteet playing Lytle tomorrow night at home. This is Poteet's head coach Hank Willis' second season at the helm, and the Aggies host Lytle tomorrow night. They beat the Pirates 26-20 last year with 322 total yards with 311 on the ground off of 54 rushes. They led 14-6 at halftime and were held scoreless in the final quarter, even though they ended up winning 26-20. We're here with Poteet head coach Hank Willis. How are you doing today, Coach?
Doing good.
Awesome.
Doing great.
Sounds great. Well, with the first week coming up, you're pretty excited, I'm sure.
Very excited. Ready to get going.
Now, you only have one returning starter on offense and defense. So will that be a disadvantage, Coach?
No, not at all. Kids are working extremely hard and got a lot of sophomores playing up. And I think everybody's ready to get it started, so I'm ready.
Good deal. Now, what's going to be the biggest challenge for this season for you, Coach?
Just like anybody else, we want to stay healthy. If we can stay healthy, we got a good shot at it. I feel really comfortable this year. Last year was first year coming in and definitely had some struggles, and we're way ahead of where we were last year, so I'm excited.
How important is it to win some non-district games before the district season?
Well, we take it at Poteet, we take it day by day, and we want to win every game. Every game's a big game for us, so we want to treat this like a playoff game, everything we got.
Now, I'm sure you're definitely looking to repeat last year's season opening performance.
Yes, indeed. I tell these guys we're shooting for the playoffs.
1 week at a time, right,
That's
Coach?
it. That's it.
All right, well, thank you for your time again, Coach. Last but not least, we're going to go in and talk about Charlotte hosting San Marcos Baptist tomorrow night at home. Charlotte kicks off its football season at home this year in the first two games, but first up they host San Marcos Baptist. Last season the Trojans fell 29-7 as they trailed 22-0 at halftime. They compiled 166 total yards with all of them on the ground off of 43 carries. The Trojans host San Marcos Baptist tomorrow night at 7 p.m. at Trojan Stadium. We're here at Charlotte High School head coach Jerry Dominguez. How you doing this morning, Coach?
Doing good.
Good deal. You looking forward to Friday's game, I'm sure?
Yes, sir.
Now, what are going to be some of the biggest challenges for this season, Coach?
Biggest challenges for this season is overcoming the 5 different head coaches in 5 years. We're still trying to get rid of, kind of like the loser's mentality. And this is my second year, and I put them through a pretty good off season, and they showed up during the summer. The one thing that I can say about my boys is they've been working consistently, and they continue to work hard. It's not at the level that we want it yet, but they're striving, they're pushing for it. So one of the things is that's probably the biggest hurdle. And probably, I'd love to start off 1-0, so that way it gets our kids rolling and confidence going in the right direction.
Right. And there must be an optimistic outlook as far as making the playoffs last year and your second season this year for the kids to kind of buy into your system.
Yes, sir. And that's one thing that, that we kind of prided ourselves on last year, because if you remember last year, we started out 0-8, and we won the last 2 games of the season. That last one we won in overtime, and that kind of springboarded us, through the off season, and gave the kids something to work on. But now we're not aiming just, to do well in our district, but we want to go ahead and get going to district. We want to get steamrolling. We want to go into district with a record over 500. So that's gonna be our whole goal. And it's not gonna be easy. We've got to play Poteet, we've got to play Fall City, we've got to play Benbolt. So it's tough challenges, but it's one that our kids are ready to take head on this year.
Right.
Better, more equipped for it.
Now, how important is this first game? I know you said you always want to try to go into the district schedule 500, but trying to win that first game, how important is that for the kids also, for their mentality?
I think it's important. If it doesn't happen, well, I'm not saying it's not going to happen, but it is important, like I said, because it's just going to get us rolling, because we've been preaching, W4DT, which is working for a district title, and that's what we've been working for. And just getting that first W at home in front of our home crowd sends the community home happy. Hopefully now the next game, there's more people up in the stands, and with that, the energy filters down to the football team. And I've seen it in places, when I was the assistant head football coach in Pearsall in 07 to 09. We got it rolling that way. We started out 2-8. We started out the next year 0-2, but ended up 7-3 going to the playoffs. And the year after that, 9-1 district champs. So it just kind of got it going in the right direction.
Right. Progressively getting there.
Yes, and that's what we need to do here.
Good deal. Now, they haven't won here in 5 years. Basically, how do they know? How will they overcome this losing mentality that they're under?
Just winning. Winning cures all. I've been to several different places, and the bottom line is when you win, all the problems go away, and the kids start to feel good about themselves, and it festers on the community. And a small community like this, all I want for the kids is to start winning. Because in a small community like this, you see even more. The spirit starts to come out a little bit, you know. And it's just, it'd be great, you know, it'd be great. Some kids have worked hard to get to where they're at now. So all we want is nothing but good things for our kids.
Good. Now, last year you guys struggled a little bit offensively as far as scoring 21 points at the most. Can fans expect a little bit more scoring?
Yes, we're better on the offensive line. We're more athletic. Our receivers another year older. We had a lot of sophomores on varsity last year. Yeah, we lost our quarterback. He was a good quarterback, but with the system we have now, it's a short passing game. You know, we're not relying on him to take a 5-step drop and throw the ball down the field. All we're doing, you know, short, you know, screen game. We have a returning running back, and he's fast, he's big, he's physical. But we also have a couple other kids that can run the ball because that guy was at the last scrimmage, our main guy. So I think, you know, with that, you know, just limit mistakes and stuff. We're not going to be explosive, but we're going to score more than we did last year.
Good deal. Well, thank you so much for your time again, Coach.
Yes, sir.
Don't forget to pick up this week's issue of the Pleasanton Express, which includes a special football tab. Brush Country Football has all the team schedules, rosters, and insight about the upcoming seasons for all 4 Atascosa County teams. Special thanks to our sports staff here, Jessica Machado, our webmaster, putting everything together, and Lauren Jett, our sports reporter, compiling all the coaches' interview questions. And you can go and follow us on Twitter at PE1909, hashtag MyBrushCountrySports. It's something we're doing this year completely different. It stands for My Brush Country Sports. So if you search the hashtag MyBCsports, you can go in and find all the Pleasanton, Poteet, Jourdington, and Charlotte scores. And a special thanks to South Texas Orthopedics again. Signing off, this is Chris Filateo, and head out there and enjoy your Friday Night Lights, folks.